welcome to the DanniStories live stream. I'm Dennis Cole, your writer hostess for the evening, and I'm going to talk about Scrivener and why I switched to a free software called SmartEdit. So, let's get into it. I'm going to show you my file that I'm working on. I am making a file to use as a template. So I am learning as I go along. Where is it? I know it's here. There it is. There it is. Now you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. And let's see. Probably a little too early to have anybody joining me in the live stream. This is, I knew I was going to do this. I forgot what I'm doing. And I need to get you a link for this. So about SmartEdit Writer. Okay, let me visit the forums. I am using version 9. I just downloaded it several hours ago. So, yeah, let me go up here and get y'all a link. So if you want to try it, you can get it too. This is free software for novel and short story writers. And I'm really liking it so far. I looked at several different ones. To add this to my handy dandy writer links. There we go. So this is the software I am talking about tonight. And first of all, I want to say that I have really enjoyed using Scrivener, and I may still use it from time to time. There are some differences that I'm having to get used to with SmartEdit, but I really like a lot of the features, and that's why I switched. The main reason I was looking for an alternative is I've been on some forums today researching the missing italics problem. I use italics a lot. My characters have telepathy. They have to have italics working because that is how I signal thoughts as opposed to speaking loud. And it is just not working for me to not be able to have my italics. Now, I could set Scrivener to keep underlines, but I hate underlines. I just can't stand it, and I've had trouble with my fonts with Scrivener. I can't get it to stick to Georgia font. I keep getting these non-serif fonts, and I hate them with a passion. It interferes with my creativity. I need to have my fonts. So that's another problem I was having with Scrivener. And I have set up I've gone through every little menu in the setup, and there are a lot of those for every little part of Scrivener. And I have said, I want Georgia font. I do not want anything else. I don't want Calibri. I don't want Liberation. I want Georgia. And I've set it up until I'm blue in the face. And I'm just sick of it. I mean, Scrivener is very customizable in most places, but the italic problem and the font problem have been making me want to tear my hair out by the roots. So I was on the lookout for a different software. It's getting towards the end of the month. I will get my Social Security check soon, so I thought, okay, this month maybe it's time to move from Scrivener. I was pleasantly surprised that I really didn't see any others out there. If you have suggestions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. But I looked around and I discovered SmartEdit, and I took a look on the website and I said, I'll try it. I'll do a test file. I'll read in some documents that have italics and see if it can survive being imported and then exported to LibreOffice. And lo and behold, it keeps my italics. I'm so excited. So I am very happy tonight. And what's more, the file you are looking at is one that I imported from Scrivener. Now you can't do it directly. You have to go into your Scrivener and export your stuff. So I went into my favorite template, the KM Weiland template, which I have added a ton of stuff to. It does slow down the software to have that much in there, but I have a bunch. So let's look at it and I'll show you what I'm doing. Now I have this document that was a chart. This was way back before I started doing databases, and I had these files that I had tables in Word years and years ago. Well, this one was a table and I couldn't see all of it, so I copied it, went to LibreOffice, did a paste special, and I pasted it as plain text, then copied it and pasted it back into a blank document. And now I'm going through, and this document, I have some of my work as far as I have my little key over here as location tags. Now this software doesn't have tags as far as I know, but I'm calling this little note file location tags, so I just want to make that clear. I haven't found out how to do tags yet. I don't know if this software even has them, but I have a list of my headers for this file because it doesn't repeat them. So I am figuring out, okay, that's the galaxy, that's the ring, that's the arm or the line. The constellation is Dorado because the Large Magellanic Cloud is only visible from the southern hemisphere, by the way. And so Dorado is a constellation that we don't see in the northern hemisphere. But that is where the Large Magellanic Cloud is, and that's where I set most of my action for the first 3 books in my Adia series. So I am going in and making directories in my settings folder, and I had several settings folders. When I'll show you, when you get started with this, I just made a DanniStories project, and I just I went to my Scrivener, I exported my KM Wyland template, which I've added a whole bunch of stuff to that wasn't there in the beginning. And what I did was I exported it, and then I ended up with a folder full of stuff. So I will go to it. That's not it. It's actually over here in my Snowflake folder. I have all these things. And I guess I should change my focus so you can see my directory. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, now you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my directories, and I'm going up here to, actually I'm going to go to the Scrivener folder. Where is it? There. And, well, I exported. So what I had was the KM Wyland template, which you can download off of the KM Wyland site. I need to get y'all a link for that. So if you have Scrivener and you want to use it, it's an excellent template. I really like it a lot. But I added some of my characters and settings that I will reuse in a lot of different stories. So I made a KMW folder, and in this I have a lot of stuff that didn't come over, but you can see how many folders and documents that I have here, most of which I have put in there myself. So I was able to select the entire folder. I thought it was going to choke and die. That's a lot of folders. That turned out to be 3,440 something files. That's a lot of files. So let me go back to this now, so you can see how many files I put in this one document. And I am using it. So let me go back to, what software is it? SmartEdit. I'm going to trip up on this. I have a lot of trouble remembering names. So SmartEdit. SmartEdit is the software. And I have the link right here in the chat. So here is all those files. Now it didn't copy all of them. It did not copy the pictures that I had in Scrivener. This is an unfortunate thing that you don't get to have. I mean, you can copy picture files into it, but you can't see them in SmartEdit. You have to just double click on them and it opens in your photos or whatever software opens your pictures. So that's a little disappointing. However, I'm using Plottr for my outlining, and I can put pictures there. So I am quite happy, since I have to use two different softwares, for one for outlining and one for the actual writing. It's not that big a deal for me to have Plottr up at the same time, and I can keep track of all the stuff that I was keeping track of in Scrivener that actually I've been using Plottr for it. So I don't really need that function. So I am happily creating folders, and I'll show you how I have been, how I got the stuff in here. When you go to project, you can go to, alright, how did I import? When you open a project, you can select, well, first you create the project. So if I wanted to create a new one, I would go to Start, and I can open the Project Manager. You don't have to keep this window open, by the way. It's very similar to how Scrivener has a little project switchboard, if you will, that you can get different projects from. So if I wanted to create a new one at this point, I would just say, here, I'm going to do a test. Next. And I'm going to put it in my SmartEdit folder. And bingo, I have test. This is what it looks like when you first open it up. So you have a chapter, a scene, a notes file connected to your scene. And how notes work in this is you can attach a note to any folder, any file, anything, and it comes up over here. So if I go into the notes, here it is over here. I can type in and I can keep my notes on my scene. So if I want to start typing a scene, I can say, you know, yeah, look across the counter to Aussie and sits workstation. And then I can go over here and say, oh boy, Sitsa is giving Adia the evil eye again. Okay, so you can have your notes over here and they don't get printed if you choose. So you can go into the note file and you can go to scene properties and it'll come up in a minute. I've got a lot in this folder. Well, I haven't got it in that folder, but it's in the other folder and the software is still working hard. So you can, for everything, for this notes file, I can say exclude from word counts, exclude from drafts, don't export it, don't check it with the editor checks, and then I can save that. And the software will remember that, okay, I'm not going to include the notes in the word count. Now, word counts, this is awesome. Now, in Scrivener, you have across the bottom of it, you have how many words are in your document, but there's not an easy way to tell how many words you've typed in this session. Look at this. You can get a word count for your entire, all the work you've done today. It'll give you the date and the word count. So if I go up to this scene and I just start typing so I've got a few words up there. I guess I have to refresh it. And now I have a word count. So let's say I've got scene 2. So I'm going to add a scene. This is scene 2. All right. Alright, so I've got some words in there. Now I can do that. So I guess you have to hit this every time, but oh, it added it to the word count, to today's word count. So it doesn't matter where you type it, it's there. I really like this feature. It's going to help me, especially with NaNoWriMo, so I can get my accurate word count. And if it's a notes file, I'm just not going to count it. So I'm only going to run it through that. Now, if I want to combine these, put this up here. Alright, now let's run some tests on my text to see if I've done things that maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, where is it? Actions and tools. Alright, search for character names. Oh, I guess if I wanted to name a character, then this would be handy. So you can say, okay, I want somebody from Germany, I want a female, boom. And here are some German names for me. That's pretty cool. But what if I want to run some things to see? Now I can do monitored words, so I can add words to this. So I can add some of my custom words like giant, make sure I've spelled it correctly. And one more, maybe Elshar. I can monitor that, and then anytime those words come up, then it will be there. I can add them to my dictionary. So deciplex is not a word you come across usually in English, so I could add that. We usually call it an apartment complex. We don't usually specifically say a deciplex because that's a 10 apartment building. So, I can add words, and I've already added Aussie, so, and I have Sitsa, but I didn't have the possessive form. So now I can add to my custom dictionary, just like you do in Word or LibreOffice or Scrivener. Now, I can also add dictionaries to this thing. So if I want to add spell checker, it takes you right to the website. So it uses the same dictionaries that OpenOffice and LibreOffice use, which is really cool. So, and I can choose which dictionary. So how do I get to that? Spelling options. So I'm going to go into my thing. You didn't see any of that. I wish that I could set Twitch up so it would follow me. Twitch Studio, I'm still learning about it. So forgive me. So if I want to go to the spell checker, and I can set up the word count for the current scene or all scenes in document, and it gives me the character count. That is so way cool. So 50 words. All right, and I can export this as a single document, so it will take anything that I have not excluded and it will put that in a file. I can import a document. So if I want to go up here to my stories, so I'll go into my stories work in progress. Say I want to get my Molly Queen of Rainbow file. Then I can open it and boom, it's there. That is awesome. It's fast. It's a lot faster than Scrivener on exporting. Of course, I had 11 dozen pictures in my folder, so yeah, that would do it. But it's got my table of contents with my links, so I can control click like you do in, well, it didn't do it. Why didn't it do it? Let's try that again. I need to pay attention to the tooltip. Alright, control click to follow link. So control click. It is not working. Oh well, that's disappointing. But okay, so I have my story. Now I can, it's that easy to import. It's just so cool. Now I can't, like if I want to, it doesn't give me a choice to import as scenes like Scrivener does. So, you know, it's not as fully featured in some ways, but look what I can do. So, and it's got all these neat looks for your document. So if it's Valentine's Day and I want to see cupids, or if I was a romance writer, isn't that cool? Or I can have springtime. I can have McSkin. I can have Windows 7 Classic. I can have, and there's Office 2019 Colorful. So if you're coming from Office to this, you know, you can feel at home. I really like the summer one though. And it's purple. I love it. That just puts me in a good place in writing, you know, to be able to do that. Now, let's run some checks on this document. I have a very large 500-page novel here. So let's look at some of the, all right, I can run all the checks at once, or I can do, okay, let's look at repeated phrases in this document. And it's working. Boom! Look at that. A lot of. I used that 64 times in this document. Whoops. So I will need to change that. But, you know, that's kind of daunting, that many of them. But it's good to know they're there. It's very good to know they're there. And look at this. You can do adverbs and see what adverb usage you've got. So let's make it run. There we go. Yeah, I knew I had adverbs. Okay. Yeah, use the word gently 50 times. Oh, I will definitely have to use some stronger verbs and get rid of those. Oh my. So yeah, I've got only carefully, slowly, quickly, so I can see what my favorite adverbs are. Okay, that's depressing. And I can add words to this to monitor. So my special words like giant and andot and my jargon for my universe, really, I can add these to that. So that's cool. I haven't got any in there right now though. Redundancies. Let's see what redundancies I might have. Okay. Oh, not too bad. That's really not worth doing anything about. Okay. And punctuation. Let's look at that. There's probably a lot of okay. Well, that's supposed to be there. That's my website. Okay, but if I go down here, okay, not too bad. Consecutive marks. I'm an emphatic person, what can I say? Curly apostrophes, curly quotes, 2 or more spaces. Yeah, I need to fix that. But I've been writing this story since 1996, I think. So lots of versions of Word, and I used to, like I was taught in typing class, put 2 spaces at the end of every sentence. Now I put 1. So I'll have to go through and fix those. And there's 575 of them. Oh, okay. And em dashes. I like em dashes. Maybe too much. 180 of them. Oh no. And there's some. Yeah. That's not bad. Exclamation points. Yeah, I use a lot of those. Hyphens. Not too many. There's going to be 2 in every Adopt-a-Slave. Yeah, that's mentioned a lot. Okay, semicolons. But isn't this nice? I mean, Scrivener doesn't do this. So I can go through. There are all these different checks. Misused words. Homonyms. Let's see if I misused any of them. No, that's what I meant to say. So it's nice to be able to check these, and those look okay. So, on to instead of on to. Already instead of already. Yeah. So, good grief, I did that. Let's see. Oh, I did it right. Yeah. Okay. Got confused for a minute there. Alright, lie and lay. So, I fixed that a long time ago. So accept and accept. So, you've got your cliches. Let's see if I have any cliches in here. It's checking. saying hands-on is a cliche, but when you do healing, you put your hands on the person. So, you know, on their heads. So, I mean, that's going to be in there. It's only in there 22 times in 500 pages, so that, I guess that's okay. Let's see if there's any other, thank goodness we got that too. Bragging rights, over the hell out of it. Well, I mean, Giant have hot hands. They are 107 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yeah, I've only got it in there once. For Pete's sake, I say that all the time. And that's not a cliche. That is somebody who's really, really tired. So, anyway. Alright, so sentence start words. This is enlightening. I didn't realize I was so bad about using the same word to start lots of sentences. So let's see what we got. This is going to be bad. But it's nice to know, right? Then you can go in and fix it, you know? Okay, yeah, I started with I a lot, but it's first person. Oh, 1,326 times. I need to do something else. Yeah. Okay. So you can see all your favorite starting words. Maybe you don't want to see them. Oh, let's go to something else. Okay, and then sentence length. This is a good one. Let's see what my longest sentence is in this document. 42 words. Okay, I remember that scene. Alright, so yeah, I have a 42 word sentence. I probably shouldn't have any that long. Anyway, so it's good to know if you did do that. Okay, and dialogue tags. Let's see how many he said, she saids I've got. Not many. 13 in a 500 page document. Actually, I'm pretty proud of that. Okay, so not bad. Alright, then proper nouns. Let's see how many proper nouns I have. This is a handy dandy way to get a character list out of your document. So, he, you, but then I've got lots of people in there, so yeah, I mean, so you can just take out the pronouns and then you've got your handy dandy character list. How about that? And let's see if I can copy that and put it in a document. If I do Control A, no, I can't. Oh, well, phooey. Okay, well, maybe not, but it would be nice if there was a way to do that. But at least you can see them. So I'm still pretty happy with my download. Acronyms. See how many acronyms I have in here. Not a whole lot. Trader service, diplomatic service, the emergency room, DOS, and this whole scene about DOS was a joke scene, so it wasn't even part of the story. ISBN. Yeah, that ought to be an EM dash after that. TV. US. Oh, us. Okay. PE, like PE class, BYU. Okay, not bad at all, really. Okay, and then risque words and phrases. Let's see if I have any risque stuff. I don't think I do. Squeaky clean. I do write for young adults. And foreign words and phrases. Let's see if I used any foreign words or phrases. Nope. Except for my made-up languages, and it's smart enough to know that. Isn't that nice? So, alright. There you have it. There's all these different checks you can do on your document, which is really nice. I mean, I can go to, what's that site? Writer Pro Aid, and put stuff in, and it can give me stuff like the readability score, which this doesn't have. But I got an add-on for LibreOffice that does that. Word does it automatically. So, you know, yeah, I might need to go someplace else to get that, but I can just go in my LibreOffice and do that and get a readout that I can save to a file. So, to have all this in here, this is worth its weight in gold to me. And my italics are here. So I don't have to worry about that because, you know, if they're speaking a foreign language, of course I want the italics to be there the first time I use the phrase. Or a name of an herb, or a name of a mineral, or a name of a thing. You know, I want to be able to have my italics, which is why I switched from Scrivener to this software in the first place. So, this is nice. Alright, I'm going to go to my other document now. This is my template document. And so, as I showed you, I imported a whole bunch of files, and I'm currently cleaning up my settings, and it's just very, very nice to be able to have all this, you know. So this is like your whatever it's called in Scrivener. I don't know the names of the parts of Scrivener. The binder. This is like the binder in Scrivener. So you can arrange it however you want. I've got my story up here. I can add a folder for manuscript. So I'm going to call this novel. And I'm going to put it at the top so I can drag this up and put it where I want it. So I'm going to put this at the very tippy top. I'm going to put it right. I'm going to put that into it, which you can't do. Well, I thought I could do it. It worked last time. It didn't work this time because it's at the top, probably. Okay, look. I want it up here. Right now, where is it? Is it at the bottom? I bet it's at the bottom. Yeah, there it is. But what I can do is I can drag the other stuff into another folder. So I've got everything coming off of this KMW folder because that is how I imported it, but I can change the name of that. And I can say, it's easier to do this than the other way I was doing it. So I'm going to make this the project notes. And I have a project notes folder, but that's okay. So I can just put this up, and I can close some of this stuff. I've got all my research, and boy, a lot of research. Okay, so if I do that, then I can put that there. I can close that again, and I can put setting up here. I can close that again, and bring my settings folder. I have several settings folders, which I shouldn't have. So I'm trying to consolidate things. It didn't import exactly as my folders were in Scrivener, but it's pretty close. And I did have some redundant stuff in it. It was messy, so it's not like, what's it called? There I go again. SmartEdit. It's not like SmartEdit messed it up. It was already pretty disorganized when I copied it over. So yeah, it's very close to how I had it. The way that it is set up, of course, when I brought up the other file, there's no, I don't know if it has templates. I need to find out about that. I haven't read through all of the documentation, so that's something I'm going to do in the next couple of days. Just read a little bit every day and learn all the features of this. But one feature it has that I really like is fragments. So if I delete something, I can pull it, I can name it as a fragment, and then I can refer to it again later. And I can look, if I'm trying to find a word or phrase, I can look in the project, in the scene, and in the tree. So say I want to find archetypes. I have a lot of stuff that I've copied from K.M. Weiland's website, so let's watch it go. Well, it should find it. Well, why isn't that? Oh, I'm looking in fragments. That's why. Let's go back. Now, how do I go back? Oh, well, all right. Go to the document. Now I will look for archetypes. And let's see what we find. Haha! And it brings up all of this stuff. So, very nice. And then research. So I've got, oh, that's where characters are. Okay, so how do I get that over to that? Let's go back to the document. I wonder if I can just drag him over. Let's find out. Alright, so Rainbow Kids is character files, so I could just do that. And it may take a minute because there's several files in there. Well, didn't do anything. Let me try it again. Must not be holding my mouth right. I held my mouth right and it still didn't work. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm going to have to read up. I'm definitely going to have to read up. But this is, it's nice that that is there. There's notes. There's the daily word count. There's my scans. So cool. And I can go back. Okay, so there we go. So I've got a new toy and I'm happy to play with it. Do y'all have any questions about this stuff? I told you how to get it. Let's see who's with me tonight. Oh, another TV viewer. Hello. And Orthodox. Welcome. Good to see you tonight. Cute name. And let's see. Well, I don't see any questions, so I'll just go on. If y'all think of any, jot them down and I'll try to answer them. In the meantime, okay, so I have recurring characters that I have. I need to put them in the right place though. And my settings, my templates. I made all these templates. I've got a template folder for settings for all of your plot points. I've got the short world building form by K.M. Weiland. I've got the long world building form by Patricia C. Reed. This is awesome. If you want to really do your world in depth, this is the way to go. There's questions for all sorts of topics. So up at the top, here are all the divisions. So are you building your world on an alternate Earth or not Earth? Physical and historical features, magic and magicians. I don't really deal with magic, but I could substitute technology there. A lot of these questions about magic could also apply to science fiction, so I would just think technology when answering those. Peoples and customs, social organization, commerce, trade, and public life, and daily life. This is so cool. And it's got lots of food for thought, especially on the calendar. I really love this. So one calendar or many different ones, has the day divided. It's really cool. So I should put a link for that. And this is my setting sketch that I built off of someone else's, but I added a few things. So like hub is not on anybody else's setting form. So I just plugged in a couple of things that I wanted to be aware of, because in my universe there might be a hub to several star systems, so it covers a big chunk of space. And then the structure came from the K.M. Weiland template, and I think they got a little out of order, so definitely the midpoint should be between 2A and 2B. If I can get it in the right place. And I have a lot of stuff under there. A lot of stuff. And I've got little story files to start me off if I read in one of my stories, if I import it. And I've got some of my timeline, not a whole bunch, but I've also got my year conversions for some of my planets, not all of them. And I've got this I copied off of K.M. Weiland's database. So that's a sample of her section that is a database of information on all sorts of things. I really encourage you to go to her website and check it out. And here's my Markuan calendar and the days of the week and the weeks of the month. And you'll notice as I go through this that it adds a tab for all of these. So if I wanted to, I can have it keep those. Like if I wanted to refer to the short world building form, I could leave it up there. So I really like that. But as you can see, you get a lot of files. A lot of files. It's lots. Woo. And I've got all of her information on character arcs. So I've got the little article on each of these that I can refer to. Positive character arcs, flat character arcs, archetypes life cycle, which is really interesting. So first you're a child, then you're a maiden, that's your coming of age arc, then you are either you might turn into a damsel or a vixen, but hopefully you're going to end up as the lover, and then you might have a hero arc. And so I love the way that she has studied literature and come up with all of this so that I can do it. I never understood plot structure and archetypes before. But after reading all those articles, I'm beginning to be able to do it. And I've got color scheme for all of the roles. And then stuff to think about theme, which I need to be working on for my novel. I've got my first chapter pretty well done, but I've still got some holes that I need to fill. So I'm really finding a lot of help on her website. Really. It's wonderful. But right now, what I'm trying to do is get everything organized. I don't need Scrivener help. I don't need this at all because I'm not using Scrivener. It's still in Scrivener if I want to look at it, so I don't need it here. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that I need to just clean up and put someplace. My calendar, for example, needs to go on my timeline, my chronology. So I'm going to stick it in there. It didn't go in the right place. Now it did. Now it did. Okay. And I made some editing sprints out of the Snowflake Method. I like to go through, and any articles that help me as a writer, I'll go through and make a little worksheet out of it, because that really, it helps the information to stick up here, and it gives me a worksheet that I can go back to. And of course I need to close all this stuff now, like the theme one that I took from part of the article on theme. So, you know, it really is helpful. Excuse me. And I'm back to my locations. So this is the 3-act method, so I can look on my Plottr and see where these go, because I should show you what I did over there. Let me do that, because I decided that in Plottr I wanted to be able to see, okay, I've got it worked out for books, for chapters, but I wanted it by scenes. So I figured out, if I'm going to end up with 80,000 words at the end, and I'm going to have 20 chapters, so each chapter needs to be 4,000 words. And then as far as scenes, I want to have about 2 scenes a chapter, so I'm looking at about 2,000 words a scene. Now, this is a guide and it's flexible, but on my timeline in Plottr, I've got, I'm actually starting my book on a sequel rather than a scene, and that's okay too, because I wanted to get right into the action with the explosion in the lab. So then Director Praggett investigates and finds out that Ossie and Sitsa haven't been doing their job. And then Riona E. Does the programming so that everybody can use his telepathic interface and think to their computers. And then Dries gets a bad headache, so Ree gets a healer in his mental mind link and heals him, and discovers that, oh, this is more than just a headache. And they find out later down the road that Dries and Sitsa are using their telepathy as a weapon. So, you know, I've still got to figure out a bunch of stuff in the second act. And I've really got to watch my P's and Q's and make sure that the pace picks up. So with the KM Weiland timeline, what I did was I typed in a bunch of stuff, or copied and pasted rather, from the articles that she did on all the parts of the 3-act system. So I also kept the original stuff from the 3-act template in Plottr. So, you know, if it's different than what she has, then I kept it. And that way I've got, this came from the 7-point timeline, and I just, you know, most of it was the same, so I just copied that up there, dragged it up there. So I've got a template that I can, you know, because I usually set up my novels to be about 20 chapters. And if I'm doing 2 scenes per chapter, that's 40 scenes. So now I have a ballpark figure in my mind to work towards. So it gives me goals to work towards. And I'm a pantser. I usually just sit down and write a story. I don't think about a structure or anything, because for many years that's how I operated. I just didn't think that a plot outline would help me, or that it was really something for me. You know, I was a pantser and I was going to be a pantser. Well, turns out a 63-year-old can learn new things. And boy, I am learning a lot that's making a big difference in my writing. So I encourage y'all, you know, I started with the Snowflake Method, and it's simple enough that I could get it. And then I went over to KM Weiland's website, and as they say, the rest is history. I'm really learning a lot about how to pace my stories. And it's going to be a lot easier to write new stuff just plotting it first and then writing it. So that's how I'm going to do my NaNoWriMo when Camp NaNoWriMo comes in April. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to plot a new one from scratch and see how that works for me. I like to experiment, so, you know, I think it's a good idea to look at some of these methods for plotting and just see if they might work for you. There are degrees as to how far into it you get. You know, you can embrace it and be all gung-ho for an outline, or you can just get the basic things like the inciting event, the hook, the inciting event, the key event, the plot point 1, the midpoint, and the plot point 2, or the third plot point, as KM Weiland calls it, then the climax and the climactic moment and the resolution. If you've got those beats, or if you're doing Snowflake Method, you know, an opening, 3 disasters, and the ending. So if you just use a little bit of structure, you know, it might help you kind of know where to go with your story. I wrote one using this, and I found that it went a lot better than doing it the way I used to do it. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but I'm really a fan of the way that KM Weiland describes these things, so that I can get the difference between the inciting event and the key event. you know, she's done a lot of research on this with a lot of different people who analyzed a lot of literature to come up with these things in the first place. I, you know, want to spend my time writing, not researching, so I don't want to recreate the wheel. Katie Weiland has done that research, and wow, I really like the way she expresses it, so even I can grasp it. It's like, whoa, I thought this stuff was way over my head. So let's go back to, and what's the name of it? SmartEdit. I will learn the name of this software. It may not be tonight, but I will learn it. So I'll go back to it. And what else can I do with this? Let's see. So say I want to start a new project and use the stuff that I've got here. All I got to do is go to project and find out, let's see, no. It's built like Word. I quit using Word in 2007 because they started this ribbon jazz and I did not like it. So it's going to take me a while to work through these menus and figure out where everything is. I don't know where it is. Why can't they have one ribbon that has, you know, file, save, and all that like I'm used to in Windows? I don't get this. Why they have to do it all differently, but okay, so, well, maybe you do it from the project manager. Let's have a look. All right. Want to save this one as another thing, and it doesn't have a choice for that. So how do I do this? I can make a backup. Let's see, and it's not going to my D drive. Maybe it will learn eventually, I hope. So, SmartEdit. Alright, make new folder. Alright, I'm going to call this one Not Just Any Orphan. Okay. And it's backing it up into that folder. And I think it is calling it not just any orphan. This is my nano project. So let's see if this works. Now I've got a backup. All right, I'm gonna go over there. If I can, let's see. All right, open project manager. All right, I've got my test document, but I really want, let's see, open project. All right. Yeah, I don't see it. It saved it as something else. So that didn't work. Okay, so can I... There really ought to be a save as on this. I don't see it. It may be on here and I'm just not used to where to look because this ribbon viz just loses me. I do not get it. Export as a single document. I want export. I want to export it. I can export it as a single document, but I want to export it as another project. Well, let's see. I could run checks. Edit your settings. Create draft. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Okay. Let's see if I can save a template. Let's see. Working on multiple PCs. Let's try that. Works best if you're working on a single PC. Well, I do. Okay. Never created inside a cloud folder such as Dropbox. Well, I don't do that. Let's see. Okay. Well, this is going to take longer than I thought, so let me get to this. Now you can see what I'm doing. I am on the SmartEdit website and I am looking for how to save this as something else. What I could do is just use the one folder because I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Can use templates. Export open or backup. Okay. Well, okay. Maybe you can, but alright, let me switch it back to SmartEdit and let's put it through its paces, shall we? Alright, I want to see how far I can go with this. You know, I guess that's just the computer tech in me. I want to push things until they break. So let's see if I can break SmartEdit. Alright, now if I wanted to just, I need to organize this a little more first. I need to find my character folder. Got all my notes. Find my character folder. And series should go in plot. Yeah, series. Okay, can go in Plott. Get a little organized before I add other things into the mix. I don't need that. That's my chapter and scene 20 outline. I don't need 5 scenes in a chapter, however, so yeah. Okay. For my writing style, I don't. So anyway, I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna close the start page. Okay. And I've got my NaNoWriMo. Now what I've got worksheets. I got to step 2. I need to work on that some more, but not right now. Not today. Today, I want to, let's see, I've got all this nice editing stuff and how to get reviews. I'm not ready for that. I need to rewrite my stuff. I need to rewrite all of my 55 stories on Amazon and make them better before I start trying to grow it. So anyway, and OpenEmoji is a wonderful site if you want to find little Unicode emojis, because these are public domain. So when they did Unicode, they did not include any pictures with the Unicode. So all of the social media that you put emotes in, you'll notice that Facebook looks different than Twitter, and maybe it looks different in your word processor. That's because there is no standard emote in the Unicode. So if you type in one of these codes for, say, the brown circle, you are going to get a different looking brown circle depending on which Unicode set the social media or software uses. But here's where you can go. You can go to OpenEmoji and just download them, and then you've got them. You can copy it and you can paste it other places. So say I want to put a plot dot. There you go. So I've got a nice looking dot that I can put in my in there. So there's colors, there's skull and crossbones and all sorts of stuff, and these are really cute, I think. So, and footprints. So that's why I've got that there, but I need to put that someplace. And I've got all the steps from writing to publishing, and then here's my character files. So now I can go up and let me see. So characters should not be down there. Characters should be up here. So I'm gonna grab that, and I'm just gonna keep all the character stuff together and mark that folder so that it won't be included in the word counts or the other stuff. So say right, I want it further up. So I'm gonna put it on the project notes. Boom. It takes it a minute because it's a lot of files. Now, all right. Boy, this is a mess. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. All right. So I'm going to put everything in project notes. I'm going to put, now I should have characters someplace. I keep losing the folder. Oh, that's why it's still a mess. I got to a certain point and I was too tired and gave up, and so here I am. All right. The structure should go up here. And wow, this is just taking forever. All right, stories. Okay. Timeline. That should be in cron. World building should be in settings. Did it go anywhere? I guess it didn't. Okay. Well. Put that in front there. Alrighty. And there's my Art of Being Grateful story, which is on Wattpad for free. It's a short. Let's see. I need to close some of these windows. Oh my, every one of them is open. I gotta remember this. Don't want all that stuff to be open. Oh, there we go. Character, I'm going to put costumes down under character. Okay. And then where was character? Oh gosh, I lost the folder again. Okay. Future book ideas needs to go in plot. Okay. And pages goes in characters. Okay. And so I want to put my location folder here. And I want to put that there. And now, what have I got? Is there anything in that? Oh, wait a minute. It's a big file. It may take a minute. I don't think it's got anything in it. So, I'm going to delete this folder. Yep, I'm sure. Okay. Good. Now, that's a lot better. Okay. Let's close that. Now, got all sorts of stuff in here. Okay. Now I can take these characters and put in characters, because a lot of them are going to turn up in other stories. Alright. Now, we're getting there. Oh yeah, now I can put names down here in characters. that. I have some duplicates. Okay, let's do that and see what I've got. And I've got all the archetypes, so I'm gonna leave that in a folder and just drag it under the other folder, and voila, got it. Now, let me close this. Got all sorts of little nice files. I got most of them from the NaNoWriMo.org Now What document. So that's where I got a lot of these. So now I've got, that is empty, I think, so I'm going to just get rid of it. Yeah, it's empty. No plus sign by it, so just an empty folder. Now I've got let's see. Let me get the front matter folder. I guess I'll put the paperback novel under that. Anytime today. There we go. All right. And book meta. Actually, I'm going to put this under that because book meta has front meta and back meta. All right. Good. Now, culture is going to go under characters. And close these up. Okay. So one thing I could do is rename this. And let's see what emoji I can put there. I'll use a snowman, why not? Okay. It's going to do it in black and white. Oh dear, it didn't even do it. When it puts a box there instead of an emoji, you know that it's not set up for emojis. So, at least not for that particular emoji. So I need to pick another. Oh, it did it. It did it. Okay. It doesn't show unless you click on it. Oh well. That is one thing I'm going to miss about Scrivener is you can put emojis in your folder names. And you can have icons for the folders, and I don't think this has anything like that. But it works. And I can do all the fancy stuff in Plottr, so I don't need it necessarily to work. And I can put stuff in my documents. As you can see, I can use different colors, and I can have emojis in documents. Well, not that one. Not that one. But as you saw with Open Emoji, I can go into these and see emojis. So I can put them in the documents. I just can't put them in the file names. So I can live with that. I like my emojis. So, alright, I'm gonna close that back. So I'm having to remember to close my tabs as I go. But this is basically how it works. And manuscript, has that got anything in it? I think that's an empty one. Sometimes they came over empty. If they had a picture or a PDF or something like that, then yeah, they're not gonna come over to this. Also spreadsheets. I had some spreadsheets in there, so anything like that that wasn't showing up in Scrivener didn't come over, and I don't miss it because I wasn't using PDFs in Scrivener anyway. And I can import them, I do believe. Let's check that out. Alright, say I want to, let's see, import a document. Let's import something that SmartEdit doesn't know. I have some spreadsheet files. Let's see, not in this though. I think I put them, this is all my stories. I have been writing a long time. Now I know what to do with all this stuff. Oh, I've got a batch file. Let's put that in. Unable to import. Okay, it draws the line at batch files. It will not do it for you. But I don't need a batch file in here anyway. Let's import a picture. Now it says you can import pictures. Oh, let's get a fun one. Let's get some inspiration here. Down in, where have I got it? In my writing folder, in my KM Weiland folder, I have inspiration that I've copied shamelessly from her website. So let's look at some of it. Alright, let's look at some of these, because I'm working on scenes. So let's get some inspiration from Gone with the Wind. Unable to import. It said you could import pictures. Okay, I guess you can't. Alright, so we tested that out and it did not work. But I'm really not interested in that so much as I am importing documents. So let me go back to my story directory and get my Molly Queen of Rainbow document. Text. Oh, this is one of my little guide files. Alright, that came over fast. And if we look at it, it just says 002. It's just a catalog entry. It's my second series, so I've just got a little text file to mark that. So now it's here, and I can put it in stories. If I can find my story folder, where is it? I have a story folder somewhere. I didn't think I put it in Plot. I thought I No, it didn't go in the right place. Go there. Yeah. So now I've got it. Let's make a folder. Let's see if I already have Molly in here. I have all my shorts and my novellas. But Molly, Queen of Rainbow is a novel with a capital N. It's a super novel and I need to cut it down. So I probably have, there's my Homer series, and my little document on the tapestries, which will come into play later. Oh, here's Molly. Okay, so there she is up there. So I'm just going to pull this up here and drop it in the right folder. Ta-da! There. Oh, and it didn't. I guess you want to click below the. No. You want to click on the folder. Okay. I stand corrected. Alright, so there we go. The old book and the new book. Alright. And my gem series. So I can put this down and put it in Molly's folder. Alright, so there we go. Short stories, everything opens. Wow, story collections. Okay. And series. Okay. So I've got a lot of duplicates. I'm going to have to really weed this. But there we go. All right. It's getting there. It's getting there. Okay. All these are stories. Okay. And now I need to get down to, well, characters. Okay, so I can get characters speak and put down in characters. Anytime now. There we go. All right. And I can get that one. I think is empty, so I can get rid of it. Yes, I'm sure. I have copies of all this stuff, so if I delete something that I didn't want to delete, I can get rid of it. I can get it again. So, yeah. And I've got a lot of folders. Okay, now I don't. Now I don't. Oh, I don't want to go up. I'll lose my place. Alright, so map ideas. I think that's an empty one too, so I will delete it. There we go. Well, it's getting about that time, so anybody have any comments, questions, or suggestions for next time? I think next time I will probably go back to Dad's studio and make some characters. It really helps to visualize them in whatever means that you need to do that, whether it is a screenshot off a movie or from a GIF or on pixels or making them on DAS. However you can visualize your character, your setting, anything that has to do with your story, it really fuels your imagination. So, you know, I've shared links in other videos on going on pixels and using layers in GIMP to put a background against a character, just using pixels as a source for public domain people, places, and things. So definitely whatever fuels your imagination is a good thing, and if you're not making a book cover out of it, you can get anything off the internet. But you do want to be careful if you're making a book cover that you only use sources that you know to be public domain or photographs you've taken yourself, so you don't get sued 20 years down the road after you become a famous author. That would be terrible, right? So it pays to pay attention to copyright, but if it's just for your own purposes, just to be able to write down a description, anything goes. So I hope you enjoyed this foray into, and I've lost the name of it again. What is it called? Let me look at the, oh, I should say hello to everybody. Okay, I can't read. Apple Pie Chart, hello, welcome, and Coffee Quills, and Orthoduck and another TV viewer. Y'all have stuck it out through the entire live stream. Thank you. And welcome to the new folks, and I hope that this has been interesting for you, and the link is in there if you want to go try out this software for yourself. LibreOffice, of course, is free and open source, and this works more like a newer version of Word, but I'm getting used to it. I like LibreOffice because it can work like old Word 97, like I am. I'm such a dinosaur. I'm 63 years old, so, you know, I do embrace change, but sometimes the old-fashioned stuff, it works better for me. So, yeah, this interface is going to take some getting used to, but I love the way the software works. I love the way that it keeps my italics, which is the reason that I switched from Scrivener to it. And I really like, and it is SmartEdit. I will eventually learn the name of it. Granny has memory problems, so hey, you know, I can't remember what my characters look like. I have to keep little descriptions in the annotations in LibreOffice so that I keep track of whether they've got blonde hair and blue eyes, or green eyes and brown hair. I haven't written anybody with green hair, but I might do that someday. Anyway, I am hoping that you have much success with your writing, and remember, you know, whatever floats your boat, it's important to write every day. I haven't done my writing today, so I need to do that before I go to bed, but I'm usually up pretty late anyway. I am really excited about this software because I can, you know, do my editing in it and use my Plottr, which is a paid software, to keep track of my characters and my settings and my plot. And, you know, I guess with Plottr, they do mean for you to use it side by side with your word processor. So I encourage you to check out Plottr as well, and I will put a link to it in this after I do the live stream. In the meantime, have a good night and happy writing. Thank you for coming to Granny's house, and I will see you Monday. Or, wait a minute, is it Friday? It is Friday. So I will see you Monday when I will tackle another facet of the writing life. And I do want to mention that I had a great time at the monthly NaNoWriMo Writer Social, which was yesterday. It's the last Thursday of the month, and you don't have to be a NaNoWriMo alumnus to participate. So I encourage y'all, if you want to learn more about writing and just hang out with some of your fellow writers, it's a great way to do that. You just sign up for an account on nanowrimo.org, and I will also leave a link to that. Take care, and if any of you want to talk to me, I will be on Discord for a little bit tonight. Otherwise, have a good night, and I'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye. Off we go.